Ma. Since01. A new hope for small cell lung cancer. Right now, somewhere in a hospital, a patient is hearing the worst possible diagnosis: small cell lung cancer. And here's the brutal part. Even after months of grueling chemotherapy and radiation, even after doctors hit it with everything they've got, that cancer comes roaring back in more than half of cases, within 2 years. But what if we told you that adding one specific immunotherapy drug to the standard treatment could change that math dramatically? What if we're finally cracking the code on a cancer that's been nearly untouchable for decades? Here's what makes this moment different. A new study just published shows that patients who got this combination therapy are living longer and staying cancer-free longer than anyone expected. But there's a catch, and it involves understanding something most people have never heard of, something your own immune system does every single day. So why has it taken us this long to figure out how to harness it for cancer? And more importantly, could this actually work as well in the real world as it does in clinical trials? Small cell lung cancer is basically the nightmare scenario of cancer diagnosis. It's aggressive, it spreads fast, and it kills efficiently. When doctors find it early enough to treat with radiation and chemo together, what they call concurrent chemoradiotherapy, they throw everything at it. But the cancer usually adapts and comes back anyway. We've known for a while that our immune system has this incredible tool called checkpoint inhibitors, basically a way to take the brakes off immune cells so they can attack cancer. The question has always been, can we actually combine that with radiation and chemotherapy without everything becoming too toxic? And will it actually work? For decades, the answer seemed to be no, or at least we didn't have good proof. This study, published in May 2026 in Signal Transduction and Target Therapy, might be the proof we've been waiting for. This work came from a massive team at Shandong Cancer Hospital in China, led by researchers Zhao Q and Li Y, with support from specialists in everything from radiation oncology to immunology. The team included 7 institutions across Shandong province. These aren't fringe players. This is serious coordinated cancer research coming out of one of China's leading cancer centers. The fact that it got published in a top-tier journal in 2026 suggests the results held up to intense scrutiny from some of the world's most skeptical scientific minds. So what did they actually do? They took patients with locally advanced small cell lung cancer, the kind that hasn't spread to distant organs yet, but is too big or too invasive to just surgically remove. These patients got the standard treatment, concurrent chemoradiotherapy. But here's where it gets interesting. Half of them also got something called Sintilimab, which is an immunotherapy drug that works as a checkpoint inhibitor. Think of it like this. Your immune system has security guards that check for problems. Cancer has learned to show these guards a fake ID, a molecular ID that says, "I'm supposed to be here." Checkpoint inhibitors are like upgrading the guards' training so they can spot the fake ID. Sintilimab specifically targets a checkpoint called PD-1, which is one of cancer's favorite disguises. The patients in this study, and we should note, this was 166 patients total, got radiation beamed at their chest while simultaneously receiving chemotherapy drugs and, in the experimental group, getting doses of Sintilimab. They tracked everything: how long before the cancer came back, how long patients survived, and crucially, what side effects showed up. This is important because mixing 3 different treatments sounds like it could create a perfect storm of toxicity. It's like upgrading a car engine, adding a turbocharger, and supercharging the battery all at once. Something might explode. Here's what they found. The patients who got Sintilimab plus chemoradiotherapy had significantly better results than those who got chemoradiotherapy alone. The progression-free survival, that's the time before the cancer started growing again, was markedly improved. We're not talking about a few weeks. We're talking about meaningful months of extra time without the disease progressing. The overall survival numbers were better too. And here's the thing that probably shocked everyone. The toxicity wasn't catastrophic. Yes, there were more side effects in the treatment group. That was expected. But we're not talking about a situation where people had to choose between treatment and poisoning themselves. The side effects were manageable, mostly fatigue and blood cell issues that doctors have learned to handle. The numbers themselves tell a story. In cancer research, when you talk about progression-free survival extending meaningfully, you're talking about real human lives gaining real time. Could be months they get to spend with their families. Could be time to try other treatments if the first one eventually fails. The study showed that the immune boost from Sintilimab actually seems to make the radiation and chemo work better, not worse. That's counterintuitive. You'd think adding another thing to attack the body would just make everything worse. What this means in practical terms is that we might finally have a way to bend the curve on a cancer that's killed hundreds of thousands of people. If you or someone you love got diagnosed with locally advanced small cell lung cancer today, this research suggests there's now a treatment option that works better than what was standard even 5 years ago. But let's be honest about the limitations. This was a phase 2 trial, which means it's a medium-sized study showing that something works and is safe enough to move forward. It's not yet the gold standard of proof, which would be larger phase 3 trials. Plus, this was done in China, and while the science is solid, we'd all feel better seeing similar results confirmed in other countries with different patient populations. The bigger picture here is about a fundamental shift in how we think about treating cancer. For decades, doctors used surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy, like using a hammer, blowtorch, and poison separately or together. Immunotherapy is different. It's saying, let's stop cancer from hiding from your own immune system. It's like inviting your body's natural defense system to the fight, rather than just trying to kill everything with external weapons. Small cell lung cancer, unfortunately, has been one of the biggest failures in cancer treatment progress. Survival rates haven't improved dramatically in decades. So if this works, if we can move this into standard practice, it represents a real paradigm shift. The questions now are the obvious ones. How does this hold up in larger studies? Will the benefits stick around long term? Are there particular patients who respond better than others? Could we identify beforehand which patients will benefit most? Those are the experiments coming next. And there's something deeper too. We're learning that radiation and immunotherapy might actually work together in ways we're just starting to understand. Maybe they talk to each other. Maybe the radiation helps the immune system see the cancer better. That's frontier science that could change how we treat a lot of different cancers. Turns out, scientists have been busy, and they're not done yet.